How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTCReaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether price is going up or down. So we will hop over to Dixie for the daily. We did see another rejection. We are pretty indecisive overall. We could make a flag if we're lucky, but right now the MPP, the next probability, does say we could see a pullback below that kind of consolidation range from that previous bear market, below that 105. Our VWAP does have a lower high, so watch for lower lows. That will cause momentum to fall, causing money flow to go from green toward the red, and then that would show a further sell-off, causing a further push down. Remember, we do have those low areas of that 100 that we could fill. There are gaps on lower time frames to fill that. Oops, did not mean to hop over. So over on the 1 hour, there is a probability of falling away from our pattern here as well. It does look like we do want to push forward according to the MPP. If we can get a bounce from that bottom, that would be providing we do not make a higher low here. If we get a bounce from that bottom, then we could stay within this pattern. If we make a higher low here and get higher highs from here, then we do have the chance of retesting that 107 area. Stochastic is dropping, momentum is dropping, VWAP is favoring bearish, and money flows in the bearish territory. If this continues, it's likely that daily would continue to reject. Over on Bitcoin dominance for the daily, we do still have that 55-54 percentile kind of probability there. So I would exercise caution. This could be another long upper shadow candle, which, if followed by a strong red candle, could cause us to drop further and break that value area high, that red line on the fixed range volume profile here, which would push us close to that point control down there. Stochastic is overall weakening, RSI is dropping away, VWAP is favoring bearish with lower highs and lower lows, causing momentum and money flow to pull back. If that continues, we likely would see Bitcoin continue to underperform according to our altcoins. Right now, we did see a little bit of fluctuation. Remember, you can't just see red every day or green every day because you will typically retrace. Just like this big run up here, we didn't get very much retracement, so that could set us up to pull back a bit. And it does show we have a probability of still pulling back to that 801 area. Stochastic is dropping, RSI is dropping, money flow is pulling back as that VWAP favors bearish, and momentum is dropping away. So overall, I would exercise caution here. Over on our 1 hour, our VWAP is in a bullish trend, so this is positive. We have consistent highs with higher lows. If we can remain bullish, momentum will push forward, money flow could go into the green, and we could continue to push those higher time frames up. But if that VWAP makes a rejection here and price gets a lower high, then we're likely going to continue a bearish continuation, drop away, and retest that 801. Ideally, we do get higher low here. We do have an attempt to get higher high according to, I think it's considering back here, but watch for continued higher highs and higher lows. We would need continued higher highs and higher lows in order to give us that push of that 936 that you do see. If we do not get higher highs from higher lows here, it does have that probability of retesting that 804, and that would be where if we get lower lows, then we would break to the 801, which would result in most of our altcoins selling off. Remember, there are days where other coins are going to do other things. Just look at Algo and Anchor today. Over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we do have that probability still to break toward that golden power, that gap that we had. That's the word I'm looking for. So we pulled back toward that gap. Again, 80% chance to fill gaps, and we have a 70% chance to see that drop. Momentum is dropping away. VWAP is favoring bearish. Money flow is bullish, but with VWAP and momentum pulling back, money flow will start to head toward that neutral, and it could flip into the red if we're not careful, which would show further selling pressure on higher time frames and give us that probability of strong red candles. So over on the 1 hour, we do have lower highs and lower lows, so we do have a bit of a bearish trend trying to form here. If we draw our parallel channel tool, the highs and lows do somewhat connect, so that is positive because remember, a descending channel where highs and lows do connect does push you forward. It does sound like a bad pattern, but it does push you up. That could be a retest around 95K. And then if we can get higher lows with higher highs from there, we do have that probability to still push toward 101. But if we get a lower high and continue with lower highs and lower lows, staying in this channel and breaking away, then we have that chance of visiting 88K. We did say about 90K in our Discord. It has changed since this morning. Stochastic is pulling back. RSI is pushing down. Oh, I got some for you in a minute for Anchor Milk, man. You'll love this. But VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is pulling back, and money flow is in the red. Overall, I would exercise caution. It does look like we could continue to pull back if that VWAP does not push forward soon. So we will get on Anchor. Anchor does actually have a bullish pattern that we mapped out before the video, so we will show that pattern. Over on Bitcoin, we did fill our position that we had open, so we did say there was a potential to pull back. We filled our position, again showing why it's important to have those ahead of time. Momentum is dropping down, RSI is weakening, stochastic is favoring bearish, our VWAP does have lower highs and lower lows, so we do have a bearish trend. That bearish trend could push us down to about 81k if we're not careful. Again, that would be dependent on getting lower highs and lower lows in this range. If we do and we can't break that 94k, then it's likely we will continue to push down. Hopefully we do see a jump up after filling that gap though. Our stochastic does want to push up, VWAP is trying to break bullish, momentum does have bullish divergence, and money flow is favoring bearish, but it's pushing up. So if that VWAP can continue forward, momentum will lead money flow into the green, and then we could see further buying pressure if that holds. So over on graph for the daily, we do have a rejection of that 26. We did try to pull back. Again, there is a probability of pushing to that 1724. Momentum is rounding with a double red dot. VWAP has lower highs and lower lows. Our money flow is weakening, so watch that very close. This does show we may have a trend reversal on the daily coming. Over on the 1 hour, we do have lower highs and lower lows. Again, exercise caution because that could break us to about 21. And if we can't hold at that 21 cents, that's where we would test that 20-cent area. However, if we can get higher highs and higher lows and push strongly past this 24 and break that 26, then there is a chance of visiting that 28, right around where our value area high is. VWAP does have a bullish trend going, so that is positive. Momentum is pushing forward, and money flow does want to break green. If that VWAP can stay bullish, then we likely would see that bullish trend and push forward. Watch that resistance of 26 though, because there is a probability of getting hung up and rejecting it as well. So over on Anchor, we do have a lower time frame pattern. That lower time frame pattern can push us about 45 cents, so just shy of that 50 cent that you're marking on, Milkman. But if we continue past that zone, there is a probability of retesting that 50 cent zone, as that was a heavy support resistance area. Our stochastic does want to round, momentum is pretty flat, VWAP is pulling back, and our money flow is bullish. So if that VWAP can stay bullish by getting a higher low, then getting higher highs, we can continue to push forward, see that bullish break, and run up. But watch those lower time frames still, especially with the rest of our altcoins pulling back. It's not likely that Anchor would continue against the market for long. So we may not see these buy orders that we have filled here, but that's not the end of the world to us. Again, you aren't going to get every trade. Don't expect to. Don't FOMO in, don't FOMO out. That's how you end up getting wrecked. So over on the 1 hour, we have a rising triangle that's created when you have these flat tops and rising bottoms. So that can push us up toward that 45 cents, providing that VWAP can favor more bullish. We do have several touches. Remember, our indicators can get really dicey to read on lower time frames as we get near the tip of our pattern. But if VWAP favors more bullish, momentum can push up, money flow can remain green, and we can push higher. However, if that VWAP starts to favor below that neutral, we could try to invalidate our pattern, and the MPP does have a probability of breaking away from that pattern and pushing below that first buy around that 35 to about 34. So watch very close. We need that probability, that 24% probability, so we need the lower probability to happen where we reject, make a higher low, and then continue in our pattern to hopefully get that break up. So hopefully you stuck around for that, Milkman. Hopefully you like that news. It would be a pretty decent opportunity, at least for some gains. I know I haven't really taken many gains on Anchor. I have taken gains on other projects, but I'm just pretty much looking at basically where I DCA'd versus how much of a profit I have. The biggest hitters right now have been Bitcoin, XRP. Algo has been pretty decent, so over on the daily, momentum is pushing down, stochastic is weakening, RSI is starting to weaken, VWAP is favoring bearish. We have a very weak high and consistent lows, so watch that very close. If that continues, we may finally see that golden pocket zone around that 96, possibly even lower. Remember, we do have the probability of about 45 right now. It does say 36, so that's a pretty drastic drop if we do end up filling that. I wouldn't go that low, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. So over on XRP, oh, also, I forgot to mention, send the message in our Discord. We have XRP, Algo, Solana, and Polygon, I believe the fourth one was, all slotted for possible ETFs. This will be very big for those coins. VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is bullish, or VWAP is favoring bullish, momentum is bullish, so we do look good. Money flow is trying to head forward, so if that VWAP can stay bullish and get higher highs with higher lows, momentum will continue up. Money flow can go from red to green, and we could push those higher time frames forward. That could give us that higher probability of around that 165. That would be dependent on getting higher highs with higher lows here. If we see a lower high and we reject here, getting a lower low, then it would be more probable of filling that $8. So over on Algo for the daily, remember, if you have any special requests, drop them in chat now, as we will be done after Algo if we don't have any. So over on the daily, we are starting to round away, but we are trying to get some bullish momentum. We are trying to hold above that 25 cents. This is about that 28 cents, so we are trying to hold above this range. That could be positive. If we continue to consolidate in this range, we could make it bull flag. That bull flag could try to push us up around that 37 possibly. Momentum is starting to round away as VWAP is favoring bearish. Watch that VWAP very close. Stochastic is starting to pull back and RSI is weakening. If that VWAP continues to favor bearish, we could break down, probably very similar to our other coins. Momentum does want to round away, stochastic is starting to pull back. This is on the 1 hour. RSI is pushing forward, and that VWAP is overall getting lower highs. Watch for a lower low. If we get a lower low and break that neutral, momentum likely would round away. Money flow would reject a bullish cross, and we would break down. The NPP does say there's a 75% probability of pushing to about 2191. So I would watch that very close. If you're not in for any kind, if you're in a trade, we'll jump to our trade window. If you're in for a trade and you're saying, hey, I want to take my algo profits, we really don't have too many, but again, we didn't trade very much. We have $74 and we got 14 of that in profits. So we have about $60. That's a good percentage in my opinion. That's more than like a 15-20% just on that short trade. Focus on percentages, not dollar values. Percentage is more important. So if you're saying, hey, we may pull back, I'm not comfortable, I want to get out, you could do a trade and you could say you want to sell. I don't know why it won't come up. So let's say we want to do a sell and we have 200 units, it looks like. So 301. So let's say we want to sell off 200, take some profit here. We could do that. So hit that. So maybe other coins we may end up looking more bearish, but we could push forward if we get higher highs and higher lows. Again, I'm just showing things you could consider when you are doing your trading. This is by no means me showing you how to trade. Right now, Bitcoin, we are at a pretty heavy loss compared. That's why our portfolio is down. Everything else has been up and Bitcoin's been bleeding, but we are pretty much buying Bitcoin right now at a loss because we don't have any Bitcoin in our paper trading, and buying now while it's sliding is good. You want to DCA in and DCA out. Remember, look at those heavy resistance areas, kind of like we're looking at that 86, 85 range. You could put like a buy order somewhere down here. Say you want to buy, if we do drop that far, let's say you want to buy like, let's say 0.1 Bitcoin, hit that buy, and then there's your order. So we could see a decent drop down there. Again, we do have about 1.25. We are staying consistent with that 0.5, 0.1 area. So that's how you want to trade. You want to be, or that should be a 0.5, not a 0.1 or 0.05. So remember, you want to stay more consistent with the amount you are DCAing. So if you're buying a coin, you want to keep buying one coin at a time. If you're buying half a coin, you want to keep buying half a coin at a time, because that's how you're going to get the better averages. If you slowly scale back, your averages at lower prices aren't going to really affect your average as well as if you do more even trades. So that's why it's important to kind of map those things out ahead of time, and that's why we set our orders ahead of time. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and join us in the Discord if